Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are cracking open the ultimate biology hacking manifesto. If you have ever stared at a plate of plain chicken and steamed broccoli while wishing for a cheat meal, if you are tired of spending hours on a treadmill only to see the numbers on the scale stay completely frozen, or if you want to know how to pack on lean muscle, sleep like a baby in a fraction of the time, and completely re-engineer your genetic potential using data, science, and a touch of madness, this video is your holy grail. We are dropping a massive, deep dive story breakdown of the legendary physiological encyclopedia, The 4-Hour Body, an uncommon guide to rapid fat loss, incredible sex, and becoming superhuman by Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss is a world-renowned self-experimenter who spent over a decade treating his own body like a laboratory. He interviewed elite medical researchers, Olympic strength coaches, underground black market biochemists, and elite Silicon Valley data scientists to discover a radical truth. You do not need to suffer through endless hours of discipline and deprivation to transform your health. You just need to find the minimum effective dose. Get incredibly comfortable, grab your health journals, turn off all distractions, and let us discover how to hack your biological machine for maximum physical performance. Part 1. The rule of the minimum effective dose. Let us kick off our story by looking at a concept that forms the absolute foundation of everything we are going to discuss today. Ferriss introduces a term from the pharmaceutical world known as the minimum effective dose, or MED. The minimum effective dose is defined as the smallest dose of a specific input required to produce a desired outcome. Anything beyond the MED is a complete and utter waste of your time, energy, and resources. In fact, exceeding the dose can actively damage your results. Think about boiling a pot of water. The MED to boil water is 100 degrees Celsius at sea level. Once the water hits that temperature, it is boiling. If you decide to turn the stove heat up even higher to force the water to 150 degrees, the water doesn't become more boiled. You are just wasting gas, evaporating your water, and risking burning down your kitchen. Most people approach fitness and fat loss by trying to burn down their own internal kitchen. They assume that if working out for 30 minutes is good, working out for 3 hours must be 6 times better. They assume that if cutting 500 calories is effective, starving themselves by cutting 2,000 calories will make them thin overnight. Ferriss explains that this extreme approach triggers your body's survival mechanisms, destroying your metabolism and causing your hormones to crash. To get rapid, permanent results, you must identify the exact biological triggers that activate fat loss or muscle growth, apply the minimum amount of stress required to flip that switch, and then get out of the way so your body can rebuild itself. Stop working harder and start programming your biology like a master software developer. Part 2. The glory and discipline of the slow-carb diet. To show us the power of the minimum effective dose in action, the book introduces a nutritional framework that has helped millions of people incinerate body fat without counting calories or starving themselves, the slow-carb diet. Ferriss built this diet based on 5 simple, non-negotiable rules that regulate your insulin levels and optimize your body's fat-burning potential. Rule 1. Avoid white carbohydrates. You must completely eliminate any carbohydrate that is white, or can be white. This means no bread, no rice, no cereal, no potatoes, no pasta, and no fried food with breading. These foods are packed with simple sugars that digest incredibly fast, causing your blood glucose to spike rapidly. When your blood sugar spikes, your pancreas floods your system with insulin, a hormone that commands your body to store fat and completely blocks your ability to burn existing fat reserves. By avoiding these white carbs, you keep your insulin baseline low and steady throughout the day. Rule 2. Eat the same few meals over and over. Most people fail on diets because they try to create complex, gourmet, healthy recipes every single day. This creates massive decision fatigue. When you are tired after a long day of work, you do not want to cook an intricate, healthy meal. You want to order fast food. To bypass this mental trap, you must construct a handful of simple meals built from 3 core food groups: proteins, legumes, and vegetables. For protein, choose eggs, chicken breast, beef, or pork. For legumes, use black beans, pinto beans, or lentils. For vegetables, flood your plate with spinach, broccoli, asparagus, or mixed greens. Choose 2 or 3 configurations and repeat them day after day. It ensures you stay fully satiated, simplifies your grocery shopping, and keeps your nutrition entirely automated. Rule 3. Do not drink calories. This rule is absolute. You must not consume liquid calories. This means 0 milk, 0 regular soda, 0 fruit juice, and 0 sweetened iced teas. Liquid calories bypass your stomach's natural volume receptors, meaning you can consume 500 calories of sugar juice without feeling full at all. Stick to water, unsweetened black coffee, or plain green tea. Ferriss allows up to 2 glasses of dry red wine per evening, as long as it isn't sweet white wine, because dry red wine has a minimal impact on your blood sugar levels. Rule 4. Do not eat fruit. This is the most controversial rule for traditional health enthusiasts. Fruit contains a natural sugar called fructose. While fructose doesn't spike your insulin levels as dramatically as white sugar, it is processed directly by your liver. When your liver is flooded with fructose, it converts that sugar into glycerol, which is used to create new fat cells. With the exception of tomatoes and avocados in moderation, you must step away from fruit for 6 days a week. You do not need fruit for vitamins. You can get all your essential micronutrients and fiber by eating massive quantities of green vegetables. Rule 5. Take 1 day off per week and go wild. This is the holy grail rule that makes the slow-carb diet completely sustainable for life. Once a week, usually on a Saturday, you are commanded to step away from the rules and have a designated cheat day. On this day, you can eat whatever you want, whenever you want, in whatever quantity you desire. Go eat donuts, pizza, ice cream, pasta, and pancakes. Do not hold back. Ferriss explains that this cheat day serves 2 critical purposes. First, it provides a massive psychological relief valve. If you crave a slice of cake on a Tuesday, you do not quit your diet. You simply tell yourself, I will eat that cake on Saturday. Second, it serves a profound metabolic function. When you diet for 6 days, your body begins to think food is scarce, and it drops your thyroid hormones and leptin levels to conserve energy. By flooding your system with massive calories once a week, you shock your metabolism, reassuring your body that food is abundant and signaling your thyroid to keep burning calories at full blast. Part 3. Damage control for massive binging. While the weekly cheat day is highly effective for your metabolism, you still want to minimize the amount of fat that actually gets stored during a massive food binge. Ferriss shares a set of physiological hacks designed to divert the incoming wave of sugar away from your fat cells and directly into your muscle tissues. First, consume a high-protein, high-fiber meal the moment you wake up on your cheat day, before you start eating junk food. This stabilizes your blood sugar baseline, so you don't experience a massive energy crash later in the day. Second, deploy brief bursts of muscle contraction right before you eat a cheat meal and 90 minutes afterward. Perform 60 seconds of air squats, wall pushes, or chest flies using a resistance band. When you contract your muscles, you activate a set of surface proteins called GLUT4 receptors. These receptors act like open doors on your muscle cells, allowing glucose to rush directly inside your muscles to be stored as glycogen, rather than traveling through your bloodstream to be stored as adipose fat tissue. Third, utilize temperature exposure to boost your brown adipose tissue, which burns white fat for heat. Drink a large glass of ice water during your meals, or take a 10-minute cold shower after a heavy feast. By forcing your body to regulate its core temperature, you burn hundreds of extra calories completely on autopilot while sitting on your couch. Part 4. The Holy Trinity of Fat Loss Supplements. To accelerate your fat loss even further while running the slow-carb diet, Ferriss introduces an underground supplement protocol known as the PAGG stack. PAGG is an acronym for 4 natural compounds that work synergistically to increase fat oxidation and inhibit fat cell storage. P stands for polycosanol. This is a natural plant wax that helps regulate cholesterol levels and works in tandem with the other ingredients to mobilize fat cells. A stands for alpha-lipoic acid, or ALA. ALA is a powerful antioxidant that enhances your muscle cells' ability to absorb carbohydrates, ensuring that the food you eat goes toward fueling your muscles rather than feeding your fat stores. G stands for green tea flavonols, specifically EGCG. EGCG inhibits an enzyme that degrades fat-burning hormones, allowing your nervous system to keep burning calories at an elevated rate for longer periods. The final G stands for garlic extract. Garlic helps prevent the formation of new fat cells and boosts your body's base metabolic rate. Ferriss warns that you must follow the timing protocol precisely to maximize the PAGG stack's effectiveness. You take the ALA, green tea, and garlic before your 3 main meals of the day, and you take the polycosanol alongside an extra dose of ALA and garlic right before you go to bed. By automating this natural stack, you add a massive chemical accelerator to your fat loss engine, without relying on dangerous, high-stimulant fat burners that damage your heart and ruin your sleep quality. Part 5. Occam's Protocol for Explosive Muscle Growth. Now, let us flip the coin of physical transformation. What if you do not want to lose weight? What if you are a skinny individual who wants to pack on 30 pounds of pure, rock-solid muscle mass in the shortest time humanly possible? Ferriss introduces a minimalist training system called Occam's Protocol. Traditional bodybuilders spend 5 days a week in the gym, doing 20 different exercises and running through hundreds of repetitions. Ferriss rejects this model as a complete violation of the minimum effective dose. Occam's Protocol requires you to lift weights just once every 4 to 7 days, performing only 2 core exercises per workout. The magic of the protocol lies in the intensity and the cadence of the lift. You perform each exercise for just one single set, but you take that set to absolute, total muscular failure. You use a 5-5 cadence. You spend 5 seconds slowly lifting the weight, and 5 seconds slowly lowering the weight. By eliminating all momentum, you force your muscle fibers to endure an incredible amount of time under tension. You trigger a massive cellular distress signal that commands your body to grow. Between these brief gym sessions, your only job is to sleep at least 8 hours a night and consume an immense amount of protein and calories. Muscles do not grow while you are lifting weights in the gym. They grow while you are resting in your bed. Give your body the stimulus, give it the raw materials, and then give it the time to build your armor. Part 6. Re-engineering the architecture of sleep. Physical transformation requires exceptional recovery, and recovery lives or dies by the quality of your sleep. Ferriss turns his analytical lens onto sleep architecture, challenging the traditional belief that every human being needs 8 consecutive hours of sleep to function optimally. He introduces the concept of polyphasic sleep. Most of the world practices monophasic sleep, meaning we sleep in one giant block at night. But when you analyze brainwaves, you discover that the body only truly recharges during a specific phase called REM sleep. The rest of the night is spent in light, non-REM stages that serve minimal cognitive function. Ferriss experiments with schedules like the Everyman Sleep Protocol, where an individual sleeps for one core block of 4 hours at night, supplemented by 3 20-minute power naps spread strategically throughout the day. By training your brain to drop immediately into REM sleep during those short naps, you can reduce your total sleep time to just 5 hours a week, while maintaining absolute cognitive clarity, high energy levels, and peak athletic performance. If you prefer to stick to a traditional schedule, Ferriss shares a set of rapid hacks to maximize your sleep quality. Keep your bedroom temperature at exactly 18 degrees Celsius, use blackout curtains to eliminate all ambient light, and consume 2 tablespoons of raw honey mixed with apple cider vinegar right before bed. The glucose in the honey prevents your brain from triggering a survival-driven cortisol spike in the middle of the night, ensuring you wake up feeling completely refreshed and full of power. Part 7. Preventing permanent physical injury. You cannot build a superhuman body if you are constantly sidelined by joint pain, back spasms, and sports injuries. Ferriss collaborates with elite physical therapists and movement specialists to introduce the Selective Functional Movement Assessment, or SFMA. He explains that most modern injuries occur because we have developed massive imbalances in our posture due to sitting in office chairs all day. Our glutes become completely deactivated, our hips lock up, and our lower back is forced to absorb all the mechanical stress of walking, running, and lifting. To fix your movement patterns, you must focus on the core pillar of abdominal stability, the kettlebell swing. Ferriss calls the kettlebell swing the absolute king of exercises. It targets your entire posterior chain, your hamstrings, your glutes, and your lower back muscles simultaneously. Perform a single set of 75 repetitions of heavy kettlebell swings twice a week. This simple movement reactivates your glutes, pulls your pelvis back into alignment, dissolves chronic lower back pain within weeks, and builds an unbreakable structural foundation that protects your body from injury during any physical athletic endeavor. Part 8. The Roadmap to Becoming Superhuman. As our wild journey through the world of biohacking reaches its ultimate conclusion, Ferriss reminds us that your body is not a static curse that you have been forced to live with. Your genetics are not an unchangeable script that dictates your fat levels, your strength, or your lifespan. Your body is a dynamic, fluid, chemical operating system. It is a machine that responds perfectly to the inputs you choose to give it. Stop accepting the status quo of feeling tired, out of shape, and physically limited. Step into the role of the master scientist of your own biology. Implement the slow-carb diet for 6 days. Enjoy your chaotic cheat day on the 7th stack your PAGG supplements, lift with slow, brutal intensity using Occam's protocol, protect your sleep window, and master the kettlebell swing. When you discover the minimum effective dose for your unique biology, you strip away all the wasted effort, eliminate the noise of traditional fitness marketing, and unlock an extraordinary level of physical sovereignty. You will walk through this world with boundless energy, absolute strength, a lean physique, and the confidence of someone who has successfully hacked the source code of their own destiny. What is the very first biological hack from this manifesto, whether it is adopting the slow-carb diet or performing kettlebell swings, that you are going to test on your own body this week? Let me know your biohacking goals in the comments down below. If this deep dive summary shattered your traditional fitness illusions and handed you a data-driven blueprint for physical transformation, show your immense support by hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel so you never miss another profound health or personal development book breakdown, and share this video with a gym partner who needs to optimize their results today. Identify your minimum effective dose, track your data, switch your switches, and I will see you in the next video.